swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash with a silver hat about his head and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
You know what I like to do? Just follow me on this one.
Yo, what's good? What's good in the chat? Raider Ryan, salute my guy. Robert Pena, man, I heard about the bet earlier in the press conference. I seen you posted that. Can't bet on the Raiders, man. Never bet on the Raiders. It's always best to bet against the Raiders. But what's good, nation? Another heartbreaking loss. Depends on how you look at it. You know, half the nation wants us to tank. The other half still wants to win. A lot of diehards, you know, that have been around this team for a long, long time. We've been here before, right? We've seen us at the lowest of lows, and there ain't been very many highest to highs since, you know, Rich Gannon days, really. So maybe 2016 with Derek Carr, but other than that, you know, it's been lots and lots of lows. So once again, a game, you know, we had more yards. We held them to under 70 yards rushing. Shout out to the defense, Patrick Graham. You know, defense stepped up with all the injuries we have, and I think it was one of our best, defensive games as far as stopping the run. I think Luau, I don't know how to say that dude's name is, but you know, the guy we picked up in free agency, that kid has been plugging the middle, been balling out. Like to see more of those young guys. Antonio Pierce, man, is he coaching for his job? Is his job already done? Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Is he done? Does he have a chance? Can he win some games? I don't know. I don't see it. You know, you get a guy like, you say you want to run on AP's defense. You're the head coach. You want to run the ball. You fire your offensive coordinator. You bring in another offensive coordinator. You tell him, I want to run the ball. I want to be a balanced team. But then in a press conference last week, you say, if we have to throw the ball 50 times, we'll throw the ball 50 times. It just so happens they threw the ball 52 times, 53 if you count, you know, the trick play on the fake punt, which I thought was, you know, way overdue. We heard about all the special teams shit going on, you know, from all the reporters in the offseason and how they had all these, you know, plays dialed up, and we haven't seen any of that. I know we don't have the personnel to do that, but why practice them if you knew you didn't have the personnel, right? So shout out to, I guess it was Rob Ryan that said, let's call the trick play. And, you know, thank God he's on the field. Shout out to Rob Ryan for going to AP and saying, look, I think I can help this team a lot better being on the football field than I can, you know, being in the booth or wherever he's been. And I think it showed with Rob Ryan being out there. You know, AP is supposed to be that rah-rah guy coach, and he hasn't been that rah-rah guy from what I've seen on the sidelines. I don't see him over there yelling at people, you know, getting in people's faces when they're making mistakes or, you know, they're jumping off sides. He's kind of quiet, calm, and poised, and I don't know. You don't see that from other head coaches, you know, when guys make mistakes. they're on their ass. They're yelling and screaming. You see constantly guys, fighting. You even seen, you know, last year, Travis Kelsey yelling at Andy Reid when we were stomping that ass last year, and they were upset. So you see coaches get fired up, and Rob Ryan's that guy that's not afraid to get in somebody's face and yell and scream and tell guys what they're not doing or what they need to do. And I think it helped his defense a lot. So, shout out to the defense for the run game. What else we got? Let's get to the chat. Chat lives matter. Poor Robert Pena, man. Robert Pena, worst day of his life, had to own up to a bet. I was sure our team would not lose to the Broncos again. And he didn't tell the rest, I do not think. But the bet, I do believe, is he has to wear a donkey's hat. I don't know for how long, but man, you will never catch me in orange and blue at the same time. If I'm wearing blue, it's all blue. But shout out to you for being a man and owning up to your bet, bro. Salute all. Hey, that's myself. That's done. Raider Ryan, what's good? Raider Ryan, what's good with you, man? What kind of better? I mean, better than they were. I know the points don't really show that, but if you look at it was 19-16 before the Gardner injury and the fumble, which a lot of people are trying to put on Ritter. I mean, come on, Colton Miller did it looked like he didn't even block that guy. The dude was on roller skates. He shoved him completely back into Ritter. Ritter did not see it, did not feel it, and was trying to throw the ball. So, you would think that your star offensive lineman tackle would give you more than 2 seconds to throw the ball. Didn't happen. It was a fumble. And they got an easy touchdown. And then, again on the interception, they score again. So other than that, and that's been the scenario all year, right? If you go back and look at every single game, that's been the case. We've been close. Our defense hasn't played well, our offense hasn't played well, but somehow we were hanging in games. And then, Garner happens, right? Minshew mania that everybody wanted. Oh, Garner's way better than AOC. Yeah, we see where that got us this year. It got us a high draft pick, which I'm not complaining. And by the way, shout out to Gardner Minshew. Thank you for everything you've done for this team this year. It's been a long time coming that we get a franchise quarterback. And thanks to your play, we will be getting a franchise quarterback very, 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 very soon. Well, I guess not very soon. April is kind of a long time away. But yeah, man. Shout out to Gardner Minshew. Get well soon. You know, that's a nasty, nasty injury. Does not feel very well. Thank God he's not living in a van and he went and bought a house in Vegas. Al's Ghost, what's good? What's good? What you got? Bad. LOL, don't even pick your team on football polls anymore. No, that's been obvious for a long, even if we're good, just anytime I pick them on anything, we lose. Speaking of, just out, out of shits and giggles, I was like, what the hell? Let's go to, what is it, Underdog Sports? Had some money in there. I was like, let's check $5, try 8-teamer, see how it works out, right? So I hit everyone except for Michael Mayer. I had Michael Mayer plus 11 and a half yards. My man got 11 yards. I was a half a yard short. And I needed Brock Bowers to have a touchdown, which I know the Broncos defense was third best in, covering tight ends. And I knew they were going to do everything they could to take away Brock Bowers. But I just figured that maybe by some chance, Bowers being Bowers, that Garner could just throw him a ball, he'd make a play and score, and I'd have won $1,700. But man, crazy $5 bet, a half a yard and a touchdown. Do not bet on the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Do not bet on the Raiders. Now, if I would have went the other way and bet on their tight end, I still would have lost because their tight end didn't score either. Teddy Raider, what's good? What's good, Teddy Raider? So, what do y'all think about? What do you think about Snorv Turner and Scott Turner? So I've heard, a lot. What is going on with this feed, bro? I am firing StreamYard. This is horrible. So I've heard, lots and lots of talk about the offense looked better. It looked much, much better. It was more productive. And I don't think the offense looked any better. It's still the same system. Maybe some of the play calling might have been better, but it's still a quarterback, the same quarterback behind center. It's still the stupid plays. It's still the not seeing guys wide open. It's still the dumb checkdowns because you're afraid to throw the ball deep when guys are completely open, waving at you. It's still the same system. And the fact that AP has said over and over and over and over again, he wants to be a run first team, and you can't find an offensive coordinator on the planet. You've gone through two already, and none of them can seem to run the ball more than 15 or 17 times a game. I think that's the most we ran the ball in a game, 17 times, which is just absolutely horrible. You can't be a run first, smash mouth team, or even a balanced team in the NFL for that matter. I mean, balance is key in the NFL. If most you look at all these teams, top of the NFL, Ravens, um, even the Bucks, Kansas City, all these teams are pretty balanced between run pass, run pass, run pass, and that's why they dominate. Billy D, what's good? Appreciate you pulling up. So let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think? Do you think AP, you know, is it worth giving him another year because he's on his contract? If not, Mark Davis, like I said, has to pay a guy, the fourth guy that's not working for this team and bring somebody else in, which I think is just absolutely crazy. With the injuries, with the fact that you want to be a run first, physical, dominating, smash mouth team, and your offensive coordinator calls 13 run plays against the AFC West rivals. I mean, I don't understand it. I thought Scott Turner and North Turner were, going to help this run team out. We seen the offensive line, is opening up holes. My man, Sincere McCormick, shout out to Sincere McCormick, finally got playtime in a big NFL game. And he carries the ball 5 times for 33 yards, 6.6 yards per carry. And that's all he got was 5 carries. I don't understand it. You know, Amir Abdullah, 32 years old, been in the league 10 years. You give the man 8 carries, he gets 28 yards on 8 carries, and that's all you run the ball? It just makes no sense to have a quarterback that has turned the ball over more than any team in the NFL this year, whether it's fumbles, whether it's interceptions. He leads all of that, and you're going to have him throw the ball 40 something times back to back weeks. It makes no sense to me, bro. It makes absolutely no fucking flipping sense at all. Get rid of AP. I mean, and then what? Start all over? You bring in a new coaching staff who's going to get rid of players that are here, that we have, that are key pieces that could help this team in the future. You can't keep rebuilding, rebuilding, rebuilding. If you fire AP, you start all over. A new head coach, like I just said, is going to come in. He's going to say, hey, we can get this for this guy, and we can get this for this guy, and then we can bring in my guys that I've coached before, that are free agents or that are, on a trading block. That's how the NFL works. Unless you bring in a coach like Antonio Pierce that doesn't really have guys, to bring in because he hasn't coached in this league before. So he doesn't have those guys that he can just pull off the shelf and say, hey, come play. The guys he played with are all done like him. They're out of the league. So he doesn't have the connections that most coaches in the NFL have. Is what I'm trying to say. Like he doesn't have the pull, he doesn't have the experience, and his personnel. I mean, is just ridiculous. And somebody in the chat, I mean, let me know. I might be wrong, but did I hear Antonio Pierce today in his press conference say he is not involved in the game planning? Anybody? Somebody? Anybody? Did I hear that right? The man literally stood on stage, was asked a question, and said, I don't know. I'm not involved in the game plan? How the hell can you be a head coach and coach in the NFL or in any league if you don't know what the game plan is? You're not involved in the game planning. They just hand you a sheet when they figure it out and be like, here's the game plan. And you're like, okay, that's cool. Let's roll with it. I'm going to go stand on the sidelines. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. What's good with you? You didn't watch his press conference? Of course you didn't. I mean, that's obvious. But yeah, so, the man says one thing, does one thing, but you can't really blame him when you can't get an offensive coordinator that doesn't do what you ask him to do or doesn't have the same vision as you have. Because Sincere McCormick, come on, 6.6 yards a carry. The first carry was 4 or 5 yards, not bad, but that's his first carry ever in the NFL. That's not a preseason game, if I'm correct. I mean, I could be wrong, been wrong before. Let me know in the chat, but come on, man, for that guy to come in, then his next carry was even better, and then he breaks one off for 19. When you break off one for 19, you should keep feeding that man until, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Keep giving him the rock, like, and AP as a head coach should be on his little radio saying, "No, give him the ball again. No, give him the ball again." Right? The man is balling out. You feed him the rock. Like, dude, he was pumped. He was ready to go. He had one play, where the guy blew through the line. It was a loss. But on the rest of the carries, and that's even minus, so he didn't even that's 5 carries. I mean, minus one being blown up. You can't go away from that shit. And again, we have Amari Gainer sitting on the, not getting hardly any playtime when our linebackers cannot cover to save their life, bro. We get beat in coverage constantly, whether it's them covering a tight end, whether they're trying to cover a slot receiver, whether they're trying to cover the running backs. They're just absolutely horrible when it comes to covering, to pass coverage. They're but they continue to go with them. And, Robert Spillane, I don't know if teams are just taking him out of the picture, but man, the last couple of weeks, we know he got hurt a couple of weeks ago, limped off the field, came back in, just doesn't look 100% out there. And if that's the case, you shouldn't be on the field as much as you are. Give some of these young guys a chance. Like, why risk re-injuring this guy? They asked him if we were going after Daniel Jones. He said that's what I heard. That's what I'm saying. He said I'm not involved in the game planning or the scheming. That's for upstairs, and we'll see. But you know, speaking of Daniel Jones, it's pretty pathetic that a guy is cut from a team like the New York Giants. I mean, who hasn't had any weapons around him, and you got a chance to go play with a guy like Brock Bowers because the Raiders had interest in this guy and wanted to bring him on. Apparently, from the rumors, but it's not rumors because what Jason Schultz said. Thank you, Schultz, right? I don't know. Anyways, one of those damn reporters. have reported that Daniel Jones has refused pretty much to play with the Raiders, and there are a couple playoff teams that are contenders that have interest in him, and he wants to play for a playoff contender. Which, I mean, I don't know what your chances are of getting to play for a playoff contender, but I mean, shout out to him. But it's pretty bad. I mean, I think it's pretty sad where this organization is heading from just where we were with Gruden to where we are now is in 3 years, 4 years is just absolutely wild. But on the flip side, we thought we were third in the quarterback or whatever you want to call it race, NFL draft, the tank race. But we are not. We are apparently second. They have moved Jacksonville to third because of strength of schedule. Sanji was all about swooping on Daniel Jones. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. The man don't want to play here. I mean, you can't you can't make a guy go where he don't want to go, right? So, I mean, you would think Jacoby Myers, a Trey Tucker, you got a speedster on the outside. We have weapons. You got a young offensive line. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's sad that we got dissed by Daniel Jones, bro. Danny Dimes himself. I know Tankathon says third, but somewhere somewhere on X, there's a reporter that says from strength of schedule that Tankathon is behind, that we are second right now. It flip flopped. They have the Giants number one, us number two, and Jacksonville number three. And we're like 2 points in strength of schedule or whatever behind the Giants. So that changes everything because, with the Giants being ahead of us, obviously they need a quarterback. Jags, Giants, then us. Yeah, I know. That's what Tankathon is saying. But I don't know. They're saying that it hasn't been come out yet, but there's been a couple reporters saying that from what they know, we are number two, and the Giants have switched to number one, and the Jags are behind us because they played the Lions, and the Lions are just devastating. so, so they're like, man, they had no chance. But I like two better also. But what do you think? What do y'all think if we could get up to the number one spot? Do you think we wasted on one of these quarterbacks, or you think we could go with a scenario like, you know, trade the first round pick or take Travis Hunter at number one and not get a quarterback until, the second, third, maybe fourth round this year? Go get one of these bridge quarterbacks for a year, Justin Fields or somebody, and get a quarterback next year like Archie Manning. Bring in a coach like, I'm not going to say his name, but somebody that's been here before that didn't get really a fair shake the last time he was coached. I'm just saying, it could make sense, right? You give AP as one more year. You give him the quarterback that he wants in the system that he wants with the coordinator that he wants. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I don't know. The Raiders just scare me when it gets anywhere in the top 10. Out of the top 10, last year at 13, I was totally fine with 13. If we moved up, we moved up. But man, Travis Hunter gently at number two if there. Argenti, I don't know. I mean, if I was gonna take Genti, I would try to trade down to like, I don't know, somewhere 10. I don't think he's going to be, you know, there's a lot of teams that take running backs, but it's very, very seldom that a running back, even, of his caliber, gets taken that high. But I would take him at 2. I would take him at 1. I mean, you're not going to find another running back like that coming out of college for a long, long time, in my opinion. But then, there's a lot of guys that could fill the role of what Antonio Pierce, if he's going to be around next year, is trying to do. Smash mouth, physical football playing. One of them is, Jaquan Jackson at Arkansas. That man is a freak of nature, 6'2", 233, runs a 4.6 40. Just a beast with the football in his hands. He's wiggly. He can make cuts. He has great vision. You just squeeze that dude probably, fourth round, third round. That would be a hell of a pickup if we can get one of these quarterbacks. But we need to draft a quarterback. I mean, it's been too long coming. I just think it's the wrong year for us to be 1, 2, or 3 because it's a 2-man race. So everybody says, right now it's Cam Ward or Shador Sanders, which I don't feel that way. I feel there's a couple quarterbacks that are just as good as those guys, but I don't see any of them worth, taking in the top 10. Like they're like mid to bottom first round picks in my opinion. Like even Shador, being Sanders' son, would he be where he's at if he wasn't Deion Sanders' son? That's what I keep asking myself over and over again. Yes, his play is good. His footwork's not great. He throws a lot of balls up in the air, and Travis Hunter comes down with them. I've seen every game they've played this year. I've watched a couple of them over and over again because Travis Hunter is just a freak of nature. Whether he's playing defense, offense, it doesn't matter. My thoughts on Drew Allar, however you say it, wasn't that the Penn State quarterback, I do believe. I think that kid, if Penn State keeps winning and they do good in the playoffs, he can slide up into the second rounds. He's obviously raw, definitely needs more reps, but I mean, the size is there, the arm strength is there. I think he runs a lot better than Shador and Cam Ward, in my opinion. He's maybe not as fast. I don't know what their 40 times are, but when it comes, I think like he knows when to run, which Shador does too, and Cam Ward. They're both not, they're both kind of pocket passers that run when they have to. So, I mean, I like him, dude. I like his definitely 6'4" is a great size for a quarterback. Like I said, the arm strength, his awareness, his ability to read defenses. That kid's got it all. And Penn State, watch out for Penn State, bro. They got a running game. I don't know who number 10 is on that team, but that kid is an absolute freaking nature. Like I don't know if he's the running back or the receiver because I've seen him all over the field. And they don't have jersey names on the back of their jersey, so it's kind of hard to tell who they are. But man, number 10 for Penn State. If that dude, I don't know, if he's a senior or what, but if he's coming out, that would be a good pickup, a good pickup. But yeah, I would take Drew. Like I would, if I was the Raiders. Like if you could get to number 1, and there's guys that are just dead set on Cam Ward or Shador being that guy. Tony Chef, what's good, my guy? You know, if I'm at number 1 pick and there's teams that are dead set on thinking they know who their number 1 pick is, and you really don't, unless they're dead set on Shador Sanders, I would trade back, man. I would trade back because at number 1, just look what Carolina gave up to Houston, and then Houston only dropped down 2 spots to the third, and then they moved back up with some of them picks and got the 4th round pick. So if I'm the Raiders GM, that's my scenario, and I said it last year. Definitely, that's what I would have did last year to try to get Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy, any of these guys last year that were picked in the top 10 or the top 15 are better than both of these quarterbacks this year coming out. Better than all these quarterbacks coming out this year. And I mean, that's not a knock on any of these quarterbacks. That's just facts. There's a reason Shador Sanders said, I'm not coming out last year and waited one more year. Now, he could say it was because, he wanted to play with his dad one more year or, wanted to make sure he was ready. But I think it was the fact that there was a lot of quarterbacks that are way better than that kid last year. And yes, he's got better this year, but he's still not putting up Jaden Daniels numbers. Excuse me. And to me, that's just not worth moving up for. And it's not, worth taking. It's not a number one pick. Like, I don't know who. I don't know who I'd take at number one. That's what I'm this year. It's very iffy. But if I was GM and we were in a spot at number one, I would definitely trade back, man. If you could get 3 first-round picks, the future is very, very bright, especially with the young offensive line we have, the young defense we have. I mean, we're one of the youngest teams in the league. A little bit of veteran leadership in in the offseason and 10 draft picks are, if you trade back, what, 12, maybe 13 draft picks this year, that would just be insane, bro. That's what I would do if I was at number one. Take a chance on, a Jackson Dart. I know he had a horrible game, when it counted and probably cost his team a chance at the playoffs with 3 interceptions in the last 2 minutes. Just not a great game. But before those 2 minutes, he had a pretty decent game. He kept his team in it. They were taking the run away. They were taking the pass away. He played a damn good defense. And you play in the SEC, so I'm not knocking that kid for one game. I still think Jackson Dart is a damn good quarterback, and he's going to be kind of like a Bo Nix in this league. He can run, he can pass, he has a great deep ball, strong arm, and you would think before the last 2 minutes he was pretty good at reading defenses and knowing what was coming, nowhere, decisive where he's going with the ball before the ball's even snapped. And that's what you need from a quarterback. You got to know, where you're going with the ball just by reading the defense and knowing what they're going to give you. Tony Chef in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. How you been, my guy? Also might depend on who the OC is also. I mean, that's going to be a big thing too. And the head coach, If it's AP, then it's probably going to be Shador Sanders. But if they bring in, a different coach, he might not be on board with Brady. And Brady might not be all on Shador Sanders. I've heard Brady talk about a lot of quarterbacks in this draft, and he said a lot of good things about a lot of them. So we don't even know really, if Tom Brady is completely sold on Shador Sanders. That might not be his guy. He might like a pocket passer like himself, like a Drew Allar that could, run and pick up 10 yards or, 5, 6, 7 yards and a first down if he has to with his legs. All good possibilities, but I just don't, watching college football all year long, every Saturday I got 4 games on, replaying, big plays and shit I miss, and there's just not too many standouts. Like last year it was clear cut. Jaden Daniels, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. It's just insane, ridiculous numbers. Yes, he had 3 of the best receivers in the NFL, but still, those numbers are outrageous. And then, what Caleb did the year before. No, he didn't have a great, senior year, but there was a lot of quarterbacks, right? There was a lot of quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy wins the national championship. You can't keep that kid out. Minnesota got a steal over there. He's in a good situation with the ex-quarterback, Josh McCown, who, was a Raider, which I think needs to be the offensive coordinator. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? What's your thoughts about this draft? Do you think if we get the number one pick that we take the waste it on? I'm not saying waste it, but that we use it on a Shador Sanders, or do we try to get capital? Tom Telesco's always mo has been about best player available. Is Shador Sanders that best player available? I don't see it. I don't see it. To me, best player available has to be Travis Hunter. And then when you got a Ashton Genty, 3 touchdowns a game, about to have a 2,000-yard season, just an absolute freak. Do you move back? Do you move back and try to take a guy like that? Because you can say quarterback is our biggest need. Yes, it's a need, but we still haven't seen what Aiden O'Connell has, right? We still haven't got any looks of what Aiden can do in any offense this year. And we know for a fact that our running back room is not it, right? It is not cutting it. It is far, far, far from it. The scheme is not good. The run blocking is not good. Run blocking personnel is not good. It has stepped up, with Joe Philbon taking over. I think the O line. What are you doing, Cat? Come on, crazy kidder. Come on. Come on. Sorry, the cat was attacking me. Attacking the green screen too. All right. But yeah, I mean, at this point, there's many options we can go. I'm just happy for the future. I'm used to losing, and I'm sure most of y'all in here are, you know, used to this scenario. But it's been a long, long time where we've lost this bad and had a chance to really turn this team around in one draft. I mean, we turned it around, I thought, a lot in the last draft with the quality of players that we got. Our first 3 picks are definitely starters for a long, long time to come. What else we got? Chef says I need to watch more college quarterbacks. Mostly watch my team, Nebraska. Probably not. Probably way too early, but gonna top 5, top 10 quarterbacks to watch for. Um, yeah, I could do that. Shit, we'll do that. We'll do that Thursday night instead of what's on film. Because man, what's on film has just been bad. Because like I said over and over again, the film is just it's been ugly. It's been ugly at quarterback. It's been ugly in the run game. The only positives we have is the offensive line that everybody keeps saying is bad. And I see them progressing, with a rotating revolving door. But yeah, we'll definitely break down. What are we on week 11? Yeah, we'll do that probably instead of what's on film. Unless we have some dominant blowout victories or something, I probably won't be doing much film breakdown. So yeah, we'll probably just start doing draft shit. We'll do quarterbacks. Then the following week we'll do running backs because we need both of those. There's a couple impressive offensive linemen coming out of this draft. There's not very many, but we could trade back and go that route. Colton Miller's kind of getting up there in age. The sack that he gave up. When Ritter comes in the game, I think was it the very first play, I think. Second play. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I can give you just my top 5 right now. Of course, Cam Ward, Shador, but I really like that Drew Alar out of Penn State. Jackson Dart, I think, is has potential in this league. Just needs more reps and probably would have to sit for a year. Out of Ole Miss. Um, what's his name? Curtis Roke out of Indiana. I know they just got swamped by Ohio, but speaking of that, Ohio, fuck, I can't think of that kid's name, but Ohio State quarterback, that kid's looking pretty solid. Transferred over here, took over a team that lost a lot of, like every year they lose a lot of players to the draft. And that man's looked pretty impressive too. I know he's got, two of the best running backs in college football right now behind him, but yeah, definitely looks impressive. There's a lot of quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks, but there's a lot of them that are young too and only first year seniors. And with the NIL shit, a lot of those guys, you know, might pull a Shador Sanders and be like, I'm not going to get picked in the first round where I want to get picked, so I'll just stay another year. What do you got to lose, right? You're making money in the NIL. Why go to the NFL? And a lot of these, GMs and head coaches have been, wanting to take these guys like Bo Nix, who've had 1,300 snaps or, 1,500 snaps in college football. They've seen every defense, you know, they know, uh, they can read a lot of defense. They've seen every scheme you're pretty much going to throw at them in college. So, you only get better with reps. So, we'll see who decides to stay and who decides to go. But I think there's a lot of quarterbacks the Raiders could pick up. Now, a lot of these guys, are they O'Connell? I don't know. Aiden O'Connell's got a damn good arm, and we still really haven't seen what he can do. But a lot of these guys that I just mentioned, or Drew Alar's got pretty decent, legs. He can pick up first downs if he has to. 6'4", decent arm. Quentin Ewers, I don't know. I'm just that guy's back and forth, every week. Carson Beck, the same thing. Just too many interceptions. He doesn't seem to me like, he sees the field very well, doesn't read defenses very well. But I mean, yeah, I could think of a top 10, absolutely. What else we got? Dylan Labe, man. So Dylan Labe shot five. Wow, YouTube is tripping. All right, but yeah, so his first snap, man, did not go very well in the NFL. There was a fumble. Ball got punched out, by TJ Watt, one of the best defensive linemen, probably to go down of all time. Got to be in the top 15, easily, maybe top 10. And you can't control plays like that. To me, I don't accredit good defensive plays as an offensive fumble. But obviously, Antonio Pierce, Tom Telesco, Luke Getzey, whoever was making those calls, does see it like that and thought the kid needed to sit for another, 8 weeks before he got another shot, which, in my opinion, was just bad coaching once again. But he got, he made the most of his opportunity. He got the, kickoff return, just came flying through there, hits the hole, 59 yards down the field, sets us up, keeps us in the game. And that's a rookie that's just been sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing. So, again, you can just, there's so many things about Antonio Pierce you could say, and I know most of them are excuses, but it's just, there's a lot of shit. And my biggest thing is personnel. Personnel. Too many guys that should not be on the field. Like John Jenkins has just had one of the worst years for a defensive lineman ever. Like the guy has done absolutely nothing, and people complain about Tyreek Wilson, saying he's a bust. At least that man is getting sacks. At least he's getting tackled for losses, and he's only been in the league not even. I guess now it's been maybe a full season. So I don't know, the personnel shit. It just kills me. It just absolutely kills me. Like to see Aiden 12 play this week if he's ready. Um, I think he's ready. The playbook's not going to change. Maybe the scheme on who the number one receiver is and who your number two receiver is probably changed a little bit since he's been in there. Um, Obviously the running backs. Antonio Pierce said obviously Aiden. Obviously Sincere McCormick has earned more playtime, which man, he should have earned more playtime in my opinion. Last week we could have won that game. Like just another game that we were definitely in the whole game and could have and should have won. Lawrence, my guy, was good. But just we just can't get breaks when we when we need to. Whenever we need something to go our way, it seems to be the total opposite this year. That's why we're in the spot we're in. Shout out to my guy Lawrence. What's good? What's good? Man, we almost pulled it out, right? Another one of those games where we're in it till the fourth quarter and shit's the bed. Shit's the bed. But on a good note, we don't have to worry about Gardner Minshew interceptions no more. Will it be? Let me know in the chat. Yes or no. Do you think Gardner Minshew has played his last game as a Raider? He still has one more year on his contract, 25 mil. Do they just cut him? Do they release him? After you get hurt like that, I just don't see anybody trading for Gardner at this point. With the year he had, I mean, I wouldn't trade for Gardner Minshew. But you're going to give up for him? A seventh round pick in like 3 years or something? One can only hope. Man, didn't I tell you, Lawrence, in my live play by play yesterday? I told you it's just a matter of time before Gardner fucked it all up, right? I told you I had 100% complete faith that Gardner Minshew would just ruin it all. We had the lead, you know, we came back, cut the lead, they took over the lead, we came back, cut it in half, and then bam. And then bam. Gardner Minshew happens. That turnover was, man, the interception was just a killer. Getting hurt, I hate to say it, but is kind of the worst thing and the best thing that could have happened to us. The best thing, because we don't have to watch that trash ass bullshit, wannabe quarterback, wannabe starting quarterback in the NFL for another game this year, which thank God, bro, because I could not take that shit anymore. But on the other hand, who are the Raiders going to blame it on? I mean, who's Raider Nation going to blame this shit on now, right? You have no Gardner Minshew. You have no Luke Getsy. And we're losing all of the people to blame on why the season is going so bad. And all the fingers are going to start reverting back to Antonio Pierce, right? Because, I mean, you're the head coach. When shit doesn't go like it's supposed to, it's your job to make it go right. It's your job to get the guys that are next man up, as he says, with that hard hat mentality. None of these guys have a hard hat mentality. And Lawrence said it in my chat yesterday, in my live, that if any of these guys did the jobs that we did, they'd be fired, bro. They'd be fired in a minute. They couldn't do no hard hat construction construction job. I mean, come on. Probably released in the off season. Not sure what the dead cap would be. I mean, really, for Mark Davis and all that money he's got, it doesn't matter what the dead cap would be. Just pay the shit, get it over with. I mean, we're at what 115 million right now and counting. Yeah, just wash your hands with it. Just be done. I mean, look what the Giants just did. I mean, they just paid Daniel Jones $160 million contract, and then was like, okay, let's just fire the GM, fire the head coach, blame it all on him, and cut his ass and wash our hands of it. So, you know, these owners, they got money, bro. That's shit. That's like a penny to us. The sad part is Jacoby was wide open on that interception. Yes, he was. And, DJ Turner was wide open in the end zone when we got in the red zone. Not once, but twice. Just, yeah. No vision, bro. No vision as a quarterback. You're constantly worried about getting sacked and getting hurt. And what happens? Okay, when you're driving a car and you're a defensive driver, right? You're constantly slamming on the brakes because somebody cuts you off or pulls in front of you. Those people are the ones that cause accidents because somebody behind you is going to slam into your ass because you're slamming on your brakes for no reason. It's the same thing. If you're constantly playing not to get hurt and worried about, oh my God, I'm going to get hit hard. Please don't hurt me, bro. You're going to get hurt. It happens. You just go out there, you play the game, bro. You can't be worried about the shit going on around you. And Jacoby, shout out to Jacoby. 10 catches, 125 yards. Just could you imagine if we just had a quarterback that, threw the ball 43 times, could complete more than 25 of them or 22 of them or whatever he completed, but just a tad bit over 50%. Brock Bowers, 10 attempts, 4 catches. Some of the throws to him were just absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea why he was throwing those. And then, there was plays where Brock Bowers was beating the double team, had his hand up, no football. So if we had a quarterback that could actually had a better, completion ratio and just seen the field better, aka, anybody in the NFL at this point, right? Dude, this offense would be nasty with Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers. You can't double team them if they're both eating like that, right? You double team Brock and Jacoby Myers just lit it up. You double team Jacoby, Brock's gonna light it up. And then you have Michael Mayer back there, and you have Trey Tucker that, can beat guys down the field and get open with his speed and take the top off the defense. You just don't have a quarterback that can throw it to him. So this team would be way different. And, if Aiden can play, this week on a short week, which is a big, big ask for Aiden. I don't know how much he's been practicing, but, they said 4 weeks to 5 weeks. It's been, 5? So just to seeing, how he can grip the ball, if he can throw the ball. And this ain't the defense you probably want to go up against, but, he's done decent against the Kansas City Chiefs before. Enough where, they had to account for the run and account for the deep ball. And G-Men let Barkley go for nothing. I mean, hey, we look at Josh Jacobs, 3 touchdowns, I believe, last week. It's the NFL, dude. It happens. It happens over and over and over again. And, Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce should both be fired for the fact that you let a Josh Jacobs walk, that you thought you can, or Luke Getsy or whoever, the group of them, all three, because they thought they could replace Josh Jacobs with a third string back, a second string back, and a rookie that never gets the ball, and a guy that's been in the league 10 years that has 400 yards counting this year, has maybe 420 yards total for the Las Vegas Raiders the whole time he's been on the team. I mean, bro, the numbers don't add up. None of this shit adds up. And Saquon Barkley has more yards rushing this year at 1,329, I do believe, than the whole entire Raiders team by almost double. We have 851 yards total this year. Total. That's counting our quarterback, our running backs, all of them that have played. That's counting the jet sweeps, the tops, the pitch, toss pitches, whatever you want to call it, the end arounds, the double reverses, all of those shit counts as running. We have 851 yards. But we want to be a physical smash mouth team. But we don't run the fucking ball. We don't run the ball enough. All these running backs that are getting, 100 yards a game, even JT Dobbins right now for the Chargers, the man carries the ball 20, 22, 25 times a game. Our running backs carry the ball 5 times, 8 times a piece, and we expect 100-yard games. Like, bro, that shit's never going to happen. I don't know how this thing is going through my skin, bro. That is crazy as hell. But yeah, Saquon Barkley, like, this is why I've been talking and continue to talk on Tom Telesco. Brock Bowers fell in your lap, JPJ fell in your lap. The rest of the draft, in my opinion, was pretty good. DJ Glaze was an absolute steal. Dylan Labe looks like he could be, that scat back, that kick returner, punt returner, whatever. Both of the corners, I thought DeCamarion Richardson led the team in tackles at 8, which that's pretty sad that your rookie is leading the team in tackles, but he did get beat a lot of times, and at least he recovered, to make the tackles when he did give up catches. So that's one of the reasons why he led the teams. But, I thought the draft was pretty good, but I thought what we did in free agency, the fact that he never called Josh Jacobs to even talk to him or reach out to him to see what he could do to bring him back. Saquon Barkley, Travis Henry. These are guys that could turn franchises around. Now, would they have wanted to come to the Raiders? Probably, because at the end of the season, we were cooking and everybody was fired up about Antonio Pierce and what he was going to do and the culture change and all that shit. So I'm just not sold on Tom Telesco yet. Minshew runs into sacks because he's scared out there. Dude, he's like a deer in the headlights. He's feared. Fear. And you can't play football just constantly living in fear. Like, that shit's never going to work. If you're constantly looking at where the linemen are, bro, stop worrying about the linemen. Go out there, play football. Trust your guys. Trust. He talks a big game in all of his, press conferences about, I believe in these guys. I believe we have the team to do it. I believe this. I believe that. But you don't believe in shit, bro. You're full of shit. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in your team. You don't believe in your offensive linemen. You don't believe in none of that shit. What's the next one? At least we could have signed Aaron Jones. Bro, Aaron Jones, we could have we could have went and got Dante Foreman or whatever that was in Chicago tearing it up last year in Getsy's system. I mean, dude, there's Dalvin Cook. There's a lot of running backs that were free agents. Latavius Murray is better than the guys we got, and I keep saying this in every one of my live because he's a former Raider. Bring back Latavius Murray on a cheap deal for the rest of the year, and come on, just let him retire a Raider. I mean, why not, bro? What is wrong with this franchise? But man, we're coming up on an hour. I'm gonna get off here. I gotta go get some food. I'll turn the damn heater on. It is getting cold. It's supposed to be 32 degrees tonight, like 20 something real feel. So yeah, it's gonna be nice, bro. But I would have loved Aaron Jones, man. Any of these running backs, like, we should have never let Josh Jacobs. He just somebody to believe in him, and the Packers took a chance. They believed in him, and look what he's doing. And we have guys, like a Dylan Labe, like Zamir White, who I know has got carries, but not enough to do anything. I said all season long, and I said last year, if Zamir White does not get 20 plus carries, he's not going to have over 50 yards. But if he does get 20 plus carries, his average goes up close to 100 yards a game. But you got to feed him the ball. And Antonio Pierce, another thing is you can't constantly not be involved, bro. If you see a running back is hot and you want to run the ball and be physical, you should be on your microphone saying, feed this kid the ball. Give him the ball again. Give him the ball again. I don't care what play you call. Just come up with a run play for Sincere McCormick. Rick Wilson, what's good? What's good? Where you been, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. We about to get off here. We just talking about Sincere McCormick. You know, what a great game he had. But shit, I might stay on for a little bit because people are pulling up. But, you know, Sincere McCormick, first game with any meaning, season game, balled out. We're talking about Antonio Pierce. What else? You know, just the same old shit. Us losing the draft. What do you think, man? What do you think about the game? Does it feel to you like we're tanking? And everybody else in the chat, does it feel like we're tanking? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Does it feel like this team is tanking and they're just saying what they have to say, you know, in the press conferences to make it look like they're not? What else we got? Take It Easy Nation, time for Netflix and the couch. Right? Yeah, don't go back and watch any Raider games. It's not good. That's why I'm gonna stop. I had to stop doing what's on film because this thing in my chest could not take could not take watching those ass whoopings anymore, bro. Like it's like watching your kid being in a fight and just getting getting the shit beat out of them, not being able to stop it. That shit hurts, man. Hurts. You know, for years we have traded every good player we've had. Dude, I'm sick of it. Yes, we have. We have traded every good player we have. You know, Meek Robinson, we let him go. It's not even traded, bro. It's the horrible decisions. We let 3 top players on this team walk and not get nothing. Not get absolutely anything. Derek Carr signed him to a big ass contract, let him walk, benched him for the last 2 games. Josh Jacobs let him walk in free agency. You know, uh, uh, what the hell? Who was I just trying to think? What is wrong with this thing? Amik Robinson. You know, Amik Robinson was a little tiny guy, but the dude had a heart of a lion, and he was a big, huge part of this defense. And you know, getting these guys to play. Whenever the guy made a mistake, he came back with a big ass play, and we don't have guys like that that have that mentality on this defense right now. You know, whether it be Max Crosby or Jack Jones or any of those guys, these guys get beaten. They're like putting their heads down, or they can't get to the quarterback, and they're like, done. You know, and hey, get used to it, my guy, Mr. Whitson, because it's going to be the same thing this year. We're not going to trade guys, but there's a lot of guys that are free agents that are not going to be here next year. And, you know, let's talk about Nate Hobbs. You know, Nate Hobbs, he's not very good when it comes to coverage. You know, he's more like a linebacker type, in my opinion. And I know people are saying quit making, you know, these guys into linebackers, but could you imagine Nate Hobbs with his speed, you know, his cover ability as a linebacker? Because as a slot corner, bro, Nate Hobbs is not fast enough. He gets beat a lot, and he's not very durable. You know, he's been hurt a lot in his career. So, you know, that's a guy you don't know. Do we bring him back? Do we bring back a Robert Spillane who constantly just gets destroyed when it comes to coverage? You know, you can't cover linebackers. I mean, you can't cover running backs. You can't cover tight ends. That's a huge, huge problem. You can't blitz all the time. And, we have five linebackers on this team. Why is Robert Spillane in on every single down? Put him in on run downs, let him stop the run, let him blitz once in a while. But when it's when they're going, spread offense, bro, he's got to be out of there. Two, y'all feel like we're tanking and they're all full of shiznit. Tony Chev, two, not tanking. Yeah, I think AP is fighting for his life. It started with Khalil Mack. They can both go. Hey, there's a lot of guys that are going. I think Diablo's going to be one of those guys. I just don't see him doing enough where we bring that guy back. Um, Look, this is going to be a whole nother team next year. We're going to have a couple of rookies that don't go anywhere. Oh no, bro, you're good, 100%. Shit, everybody's got a life, man. I appreciate you anytime you pull up, my guy. Definitely, definitely. I apologize for not showing up. I swear, man, I've not had the heart to talk about football. Hey, I I feel you 1,000% on that, and shit, I agree 100%. This shit's hard to watch. Like if I wasn't, you know, dedicated to this shit right here, to talking football with y'all, to trying to grow this channel, to try to get, you know, my shit, what I want to say out there, and feed the nation, right? Feed you guys information because not everybody has the opportunity or the ability, to stay in the news and to watch all the games or to know what's going on with the personnel or trades or rumors or any of that shit. So I'm just thankful, with what I do that I have the ability to stay on top and to bring you guys, whatever content I can whenever I can and try to keep everybody up to date. But I appreciate everybody that shows up whenever you can, anytime. And it's definitely, definitely, definitely hard watching this team. Just, I mean, come on, 2-9 is just, it's bad. It's bad. 7 game losing streak. 7 game losing streak. Almost all of them, but been by 10 points or more. I'm just rubbing it in, huh? I'm just rubbing it in. But yeah, man. So that's where we're at. We are number 2 or number 3, and if we keep doing the same shit, running the ball less than 20 times a game, I just want to see one game, just one game, where Antonio Pierce gets what he asked as a head coach, right? Whether he's here next year, whether he's not, I really don't care, bro. I'm not an AP fan. I'm not a player fan. I'm a Raiders fan. And if you're not producing, get the fuck out. That's just how I feel about it. And, I don't know how long a coach should get. On average, you would think probably 3 or 4 years to turn around an organization. I don't see him getting that long, and I don't see him growing that long. But if he is here next year, great. If he's not winning, you got to go. If he is winning, cool. I'm gonna get behind it. But other than that, there's there's so many coaches out there. It's gonna be a coaching carousel. It's gonna be a wild, wild, crazy off season, and shit. I'm just here to glad I could be here to come on and talk Raider Nation. And dude, it's hard for me too. Like I said, that's why I stopped doing film breakdown and what's on film because, bro, the more I watch this shit, I'm like, it shouldn't be this bad. It should not. And it falls on, what Antonio Pierce says about, doing your 111, knowing your job, trusting the guys behind you, and doing your job, executing your job. And we don't see none of that from the players or from the coaches, in my opinion. What else we got? Every week we get our asses handed to us. I know it's disgusting, bro. We deserve better as fans, right? Especially diehard fans for a long time. Any fan, but for us older guys that have been through this shit over and over again, that have given our heart and soul, for us content creators, that give their fucking all to come up with content, to come up with shit to talk about when we're losing constantly. Like I said, I'm fucking doing these videos with 7 people in here, which the shit's rough, man. The shit's rough. 62. I've been a Raider fan a long time. Here, let's pull this up. Been a Raider fan a long time. You've seen us back in the 70s, total domination. I mean, look, I'm 49, so I'm up there. Not as old as you. I'm just playing. But man, I've been around, and I didn't see much of the 70s except for what film I got to watch from Raiders films and shit like that, or whatever they had on VHS tapes at Blockbuster. But the 80s, I know all about that shit, and from there on out. So man, I feel you. Stick in there, bro. It's got to change. It's got to turn around. Will AP be the guy? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. Watching Raider games these days is like your girl getting smashed by your homeboy. Bro, it's even worse than that, because, man, there's other women, right? Like, if your girl fucking is that dirty to do your homeboy and get smashed by your boy, then fuck that bitch, kick rocks. But there's only one Raider Nation. I can't, I can't find another team, bro. You can find another girl. You can't find another Raider Nation. So it's worse. I mean, but yeah, it's kind of like that. I get it. The analogy of the feeling in your heart. Yeah, that shit hurts. But JJ, what's good? J with the J. Nice. Like it. Just sit back and get used to it. Go donkeys. Well, listen here, my boy. You still only your first victory in Allegiant Stadium. So don't get used to it, because it's not going to be a sweep like we did to y'all and just dominated y'all like a dominatrix 8 games in a row. Whether it was your house, our house, your granny's house, your mama's house, it didn't matter. We spanked that ass. So don't worry. We ain't get used to shit. Y'all enjoy the win. You deserve it. And that's all I got to say about that. Appreciate you pulling up. Like, subscribe, follow. I'm just fucking with you. All right, man. I got to get out of here. Do I think Mark Davis is part of the problem? I mean, if you've seen before the game, Mark Davis pulled up with 4 chicks that were, you know, little hotties that were probably in their 20s, old enough to be his daughters. And yeah, I think this dude could give a fuck less about this franchise, in my honest opinion. I don't care what Hondo says about Mark Davis wants to win. Yeah, he wants to win because winning gets him money. And I think Mark Davis only cares about money. And maybe for his daddy's legacy, he would like to see this team win because he spends a lot of money on trying to make it win. But if you wanted to make the team win, you would put in the effort to try to know football, to try to, do your own evaluation of the head coaches you're bringing in, and, the offensive coordinators that they're bringing in, the staff they're trying to bring in. You'd be more involved. And to me, he's just not. He's way more involved in the Aces than he is the Raiders. So I don't know. Do I want him to sell the team? No, because Al Davis is a fucking legend and created this team, and I would hate to see it just be sold to some businessman. But I mean, Mark Davis, he don't have any kids. Where's it going to go after that? So I don't know. So yeah, I think he does hurt the team, and he, he tried to listen to a lot of us fans who wanted AP. Tried to listen to the players, who didn't want to be here if AP wasn't going to be here, and I just think he doesn't know what to do. Like he doesn't know. Like he's lost. He's like, okay, fuck it. Let's please the fans. Okay, they're not happy. Let's please the players. They're not happy. Like he's just he's trying to please everybody, but he doesn't know what to do to make everybody fucking happy. If that makes any sense at all, because I don't even know what I just said. But you mean like when we had Elway and Manning dominated y'all? Okay, if you're comparing Bo Nix to Peyton Manning, our horse face John Elway, then I mean, okay, take your victories and run with it. I'm saying he's a decent quarterback, but those are big shoes to fill, bro. He looked good. He looked good, but 25 for 43, I mean, that's not great numbers really. He didn't really make a lot of plays with his legs, with one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So, I mean, yeah, Bo Nix could be that guy. Is he him right now? No. Is he one of the best rookies? Yes. But that's a crazy comparison to compare him to Elway or Manning. this is that's wild, bro. Wild. Gross. What are you grossing about, woman? I agree 100%. All right. So, anybody else got anything to say? Anything to talk about? Any feelings? Broncos fan, did you subscribe? Come on, man. I need the subs. You can't come on here and talk shit. At least not hit the like button, bro. It's a policy. It's a policy. Mark Davis with young girls is gross. Yeah, bro. He had like 4 chicks. Two of them were super hot. Two of them were, you know, I don't know. I don't know which, but they all look like maybe his granddaughters, bro. 20, fucking maybe 22, 25. Which I don't know how old he is exactly, but yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely wild. You know, maybe he likes those snow bunnies. Who knows? He does look like he kind of getting fat 1 minute, skinny the next. Who knows, man? It's Mark Davis. Who knows what's going on with Mark? But shout out to Mark for pulling those betties. I hope you can pull us a quarterback and a coach, fucking, and a winning organization like you can pull women. That'd be great. Mark Davis loves the 69. Oh, Mark Davis is 69. He might like the 69 too. I don't know. Pause. I would be happy if we just one damn game. If we could win just one damn game. I'd be happy if I could read. Fuck. Jeez Louise. But I mean, I don't know. One game kind of puts us out of that scenario for one of these quarterbacks, where we're sitting right now at 2, or even if they have us at 3, it guarantees us Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, or Shador Schrader. And, everybody says you can't go wrong with that. And if we pick those guys and they turn out to be Jamarcus Russell, then I told you so. But if they don't, then shit, we got a team again. Mark Davis doesn't pull women, but his money does. Bro, come on. You know they love those, the big balls in a bowl cut. I'm telling you. Short, fat, round dudes with bowl cuts. Come on. Who doesn't like that, bro? Who doesn't like that? Tell me. Yeah, this money does. Come on, bro. You get to go walk down on the field, Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, You know, he probably got them at the Crazy Horse or one of these strip clubs. I ain't calling them strippers, but you never know, bro. Only money. You don't know. Maybe they like older men. Don't judge these girls. They might not be gold diggers. Mark signed Gruden to a 10-year deal and then McDermott to a 6-year deal. He wants to run the team and sit back and collect the money. Yeah, because he gave both of those coaches full control over who they hired, over who they drafted, over all that shit. And yeah, he doesn't really care, bro. He doesn't care, in my opinion, whatsoever. Haha, shut up, I'm funny. Hey, don't come in my live telling me to shut up. You watch your mouth, woman. I don't come in your live telling you to shut up. Rude. Have some respect. You don't know if they like Mark Davis for his money. They can like him for his little car he drives. They might like Priuses. I don't know. Oh no, wait. I think he did go get like a expensive ass ride or his minivan. He got a minivan too. They might like the minivan, bro. Maybe takes them up to the mountains. Opens the hatch. Gets a little quick view. Come on, the dude's a billionaire, bro. He's flying them around the world and shit on his private jet. Who's not going to hang out with Mark Davis? He does drive a Prius. Don't hate on him. That's why he's rich. He conserves money, bro. He conserves money. All right, hour and 20 minutes. I appreciate all y'all. I got to get the hell off here. These glasses are killing my face. And these things are killing my ears. Try it like this. That might hurt. Bro, big balls in a bowl cut, I'm telling you. That's the new trend. Ask any woman out there. No, I don't think Shador Sanders is the best quarterback for us. I don't. You know, I like the whole Sanders thing. I think he's decent, but I see too many plays where he's throwing off his back foot just like Garner does. He has happy feet. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He holds the ball way too long. I think he's sacked up there at the top of the list with, you know, quarterbacks sacked the most in college football this year. And he's supposed to be a so-called, dual threat. So I'm just not sold on Sanders. I really don't think if his last name wasn't Sanders and he didn't have his daddy, doing all this pitching for him and, in his corner, I just don't think the hype would be as big as it is. And I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback because he's a damn good quarterback, but a number one pick, bro, and the best player available, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'd way rather, take best player available and take a shot at a quarterback and wait for a quarterback like Archie Manning next year. I mean, or the year after. When's he coming out? He'll probably come out next year because why wouldn't you? But again, I think there's a lot of, you know, check it out Thursday. Like I say, we'll break down Thursday. We'll do top 10 or 15 quarterbacks. We'll break down all their stats. We'll break down their records. Who they play, where they play, all that shit. But I got to get some food. With that, I'm out. Much love. Raiders. Good night. Hopefully things will get better. So obviously like the kid. Not that good. You don't like him either, but yeah, man, we'll talk about it on Thursday. I think there's, there could be. I don't know about character issues because I don't know the kid, but from what I've seen, there could. It's not a year for quarterbacks, and it's not just me. There's a lot of analysts that say the same thing. It's just not the year for quarterbacks. So, but much love, appreciate y'all. Got to go.